Tuesday, August 26th is the date. I got 3 profitable prize picks plays for you in this video, guys. Going to be breaking down the process of exactly why they are profitable, locking these in a 3-pick power entry with minus 122 implied odds. I'm going to continue to say it on the channel. If you are someone who does enjoy entry types with the least amount of picks possible, right? The common feedback I get in the comments in my premium Discord is, the less amount of picks, the easier they are to hit. I get that, but you also really do have to factor in the odds of these entry types for long-term profit. And the 3-pick power entry is by far the best low amount of picks entry type on Prizepicks. So if you're someone that's just getting started on Prizepicks and you are, like I say, you're someone that likes to have less picks in your entries, you will get a nice 6x payout with the 3-pick power entry. Those are the type of entries that I'd recommend you go with if you like lesser picks. You can do a 5-pick flex, a 6-pick flex, a 6-pick power as well with even better odds. Just obviously, on a daily basis, the amount of times you're going to get 5-6 picks right isn't going to be as high. You can still really profit long-term with those entry types. You're just going to have a little bit of more patience, which, hey, a lot of people that do this stuff, I got to say, they don't really like that long-term patient approach. So it's up to you, but these are the best entry types for long-term profit. You can use the promo code KJKDFS if you have not signed up for Prizepicks already today, and they will give you $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Once again, that is the code KJKDFS, and I will have my links pinned down below to make it nice and easy on you. So all the things that I talked about getting a discount on throughout this content will be linked down below. And if you are someone that's getting serious, you're looking to ramp up your game, I do have these graphics displayed here. This is my premium Discord. I will be giving you a 3-pick power entry that I did release over there. I give a lot of value out for free on the channel, guys. But there's nothing better than getting the instant alerts, because when you are playing profitable plays on these apps, for someone that's tuning into my content every single day, you're going to notice they change the plays. When the plays are too profitable, they don't last long. They change these plays fast. So that is why I have created the Discord. You get instant notifications to your phone right away with the top value plays every single day, and you can get 7 days completely free with the launch off member package. It's $9.99 a month. I've never had a package that cheap. I listen to feedback. A lot of people don't have the most amount of money. They aren't even playing that much money, so I added that as a lower tier. You get 1 optimal play per day. So similar to what I talk about on the channel, you get it sent to you immediately. Like I said, those 3-pick power plays oftentimes, so you can lock in before they change. Once you become a premium member of mine, you're going to notice when we take plays, when we take profitable plays, they don't last long. They change quick. So that might happen on this content. If it does, I apologize, but I will be breaking down the process, explaining the softwares that I use. So if you are someone that wants to find the profitable plays yourself, not only could you get the premium Discord, so where I take care of that, you don't have to do it if you're busy with work, family life, whatever the case may be. If you're someone that wants to do it yourself, I do break down the exact softwares that I use, the process, so you could go ahead and purchase those with a nice discount too throughout this content. So we're going to go by start time. I always try to do by start time. We will start with the prop that starts the earliest, and then we'll go to the prop that starts the latest. So we will have 2 MLB props and 1 WNBA prop in this one. The first one that we're going to discuss today is going to be at 6:35 p.m. Eastern Time in this Baltimore Orioles-Boston Red Sox game. We'll be discussing Kyle Bradish, and we'll be discussing his strikeout prop. All right, guys, so right away, one of the tools I'm using every single day, the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. It is a phenomenal tool. Like I said, speed kills in this industry. You gotta be quick. They'll give you 25% off with the link down below. I love this tool. I'm using it for my esports play, my video games plays. If you go to the top pinned video on my YouTube channel, you'll see I won $30,000 in 3 days with this tool. It works. They give you the top edges every single day, a 3.92% chance higher to win than to lose on the over 4.5 strikeouts for Kyle Bradish. Now, if you're new to this concept, you're like, what the heck does this data mean? Why is this valuable? Every single day, these multi-million-dollar sportsbooks companies are going to set a price tag for you to take the over or the under. This minus 136 number on FanDuel, for instance, means to keep it simple math, right? The minus 136. The easiest example I find is using the $100 even number. You would have to risk $136 to win $100 to take the over, right? So we don't care on these Prizepicks apps, on these daily fantasy sports apps, which side of the prop we're taking. All we care is we're getting good odds and we're taking the side that has a higher chance to win. So keep in mind, as I talked about this content, we are getting minus 122 implied odds in a 3-pick power play. So any prop that we can get where the odds are being charged far higher on a sports book that knows what they're talking about, such as a FanDuel, such as a DraftKings. So for instance, DraftKings has them at 130. Kyle Bradish as at 136 on FanDuel, 135 on BetMGM, 130 on Caesar. So you can see all of these multi-million-dollar sportsbooks data all have him heavily favored on the over. Once again, they do the math for us. So a lot of people that are using the Prizepicks apps, they don't understand this concept. Everybody thinks, if you're learning, you have a 50-50 chance on the props, right? They're going to hit over or under. You got a 50-50 chance. That's not true. That's what I teach on this channel. That's what you need to get through your head. That's not true, right? So all of this data will give you a percentage of the prop to hit. We have a 53.92% chance to hit. This is how you make money long term, right? You look at these odds, you get better odds than what you should be charged. So the the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer does the math for us. You can see right here, after pulling in all of this data, they're saying the fair price of this should be minus 136. So we should be having to risk $136 to win 100. Now you get 6x on a 3-pick power entry. It's a little bit complicated, but like I said, I'm making it simple on you because I have all the math broken down for you in my premium Discord and the content. You're getting minus 122 in a 3-pick power. For every play that you play, you're getting minus 122. So you have to keep that in mind. So you want to find props that you should be getting charged higher, right? It's the same concept of like shopping, online on, Cyber Monday or whatever. It's all shopping, right? And if you're like, well, I mean, what kind of research are you doing? Do you know sports? Well, one, yes, I know a lot about baseball, but two, it doesn't matter because all of the data that you see on the screen is factoring all this stuff. So Kyle Bradish is a high strikeout pitcher. He's just returning. I think this is his first start of the year. So he's probably not going to have as much of a pitch count. So his number's at 4.5. I guarantee after a few starts, Kyle Bradish's number is going to be up, 5.5, 6.5 kind of deal. It's going to steadily incline. I didn't even check if he worked his way up to a high pitch count on the rehab start or not, but it doesn't matter. That's factored into this number, right? That's the point. They know all this stuff. They know it's his first start back. They know he has a high strikeout rate. They know the matchup against Boston. They know all of these things. So at first, it might be a little bit confusing because you're like, what kind of research are you doing if you're learning this stuff? But these numbers that FanDuel, DraftKings set, they have to be right long term, or else they're not going to stay in business. There's thousands and thousands of people, I mean, logging in every single day trying to win their wagers. And newsflash, for the most part, the prices that these guys set, they're raking in the cash from people making mistakes and not getting good prices. Like I talk about my content, the average person has no idea what the heck this is. Just by watching this video, just by watching my content, you're above 90% of people that are trying to win at this stuff just by knowing this on the Prizepicks app. I'm telling you right now, the average person has no idea about this concept. They don't know about profitable strategies. So if you're someone that's looking to learn about profitable strategies, you've come to the right place. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content I upload. This is the kind of stuff you need to be looking at. And then if we're looking to get even more detail-oriented, OddsJam has a sportsbook screen, another software that I'm using every single day. It's a phenomenal, phenomenal tool because it's going to bring in literally every single possible place under the sun that's listing this today. I have 289 sportsbooks selected. And with all of that data brought in on Kyle Bradish, you can see they have the average odds here. On average, he's listed at 4.6 with minus 28.8 on the over. So obviously, it's not possible for him to be listed at 4.6. They're going to list it up at 5.5, 4.5, 6.5, et cetera, et cetera. But with the math, he's an entire 0.1 higher, and he's still favored to go over at minus 128.8. And then we have Circa pulled in here, known as one of the sharpest books in the entire world, and they are listing at minus 135 on the over. Once again, guys, we're getting minus 122, right? So, Circa's accepting big time bucks, big time bettors, people that are putting down massive amounts of money. They got to have their line set properly or they're going to get burnt bad. We're talking like millions here, okay? So the fact that we're getting minus 122, they're charging 135, another valid, really valuable data point to be looking at. All right, and then last but certainly not least, we can get really detail-oriented. Like I said, I'm using 3 softwares. These are all the softwares that I'm actually using. We got the Outlier software. They'll give you 7 days completely free with my link down below. I talk about, doing your research, looking at the lines. If you're someone that likes to do, all the research behind the scenes, this is the tool for you. but they do bring in that multi-million-dollar sportsbook data alongside all of the different props as well, right? So we can go ahead and type in Kyle Bradish. We can look at all the different props that they're offering here today on him. We obviously are talking about his K prop, so we'll go to the K prop. You can see Kyle Bradish once again. Prizepicks, they have this drop-down menu. Does Outlier? It gives you all of the different places that are offering this line and all the different odds, and it ranks them in order. Once again, Prizepicks in a 5 or 6 pick flex, they're getting -119, so that's the number they're bringing in here. I brought that up, you know, on my graphic here as far as the top entry types for long-term profit. And once again, it's a 3-pick power, so we're getting -122, but it's very close to that. And you're still getting very, very good odds compared to the rest of the market with all the data they're bringing in. Same thing, right? Profit X -128, -130, -130, -135, -136, -140. He's all the way up to -159 on Underdog, -152 on Sleeper. So it's like more, it's the same concept, right? Just, do you want to do more research? Do you like the layout better? All these softwares are bringing in this multi-million-dollar sportsbook data. I'm using all of them. Sometimes one of them will have a, you know, their data feed will be faster than the other. Once again, if you do like to look at the underlying metrics here, you can look at all this stuff on Outlier as far as the strikeouts per batter's face, 7.2 strikeouts, 35% strikeout rate. You can see the innings pitch on average, all that stuff. We are working off last year's data here because, like I said, Bradish is returning off the injured list. And you can see even the line movement on Prizepicks. They moved him up to 5 even at one point, and he's back to 4.5. Don't be surprised if they move it back to 5. Once again, Outlier brings in all that data for you. At 11:15 p.m., they had him listed at 5. Then it moved down to 4.5 at 11:42. Another valuable tool. You can see the lines as they're moving. You know, am I getting the best line? Outlier does all that for you. So a little bit of a longer explanation for the first one, but really do want to break it down, tell you, you know, this is why this is a good play. This is why it's a profitable play. So the Kyle Bradish play, phenomenal prop for play number 1 here today. And you'll just go to the Prizepicks board. You'll go to the MLB section. You know, you'll type in Kyle Bradish. You can just go to the strikeouts, pitcher strikeouts category and find him. And we will be taking the over. 4.5 has gone over in 4 of the last 5 on these charts. These charts mean nothing. So don't ever look at these charts to make your plays. You want to look at the data that I'm talking about throughout this content. The data that I'm talking about throughout this content is the same data that Prizepicks uses themselves to change the lines. Newsflash, Prizepicks doesn't want to lose too much money. That fact alone should be enough to convince you this is the data you want to go off, in my opinion. But who am I, you know? Prizepicks is using the same data to move their lines. When you lock in these lines, you know, using these multi-million-dollar sportsbook lines, and they change them shortly after, you know, it becomes so clear. Prizepicks is using the data I'm talking about throughout this to make their own lines. So it's a big deal. All right, play number 2. All right, play number 2 is going to be kicking things off at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It will be the Wnba prop that I said we're going to discuss. It'll be in the Seattle, Indiana game, and we will be discussing the point guard in Skylar Diggins, and we'll be talking about her assist prop. Tonight, we like the over, 5.5 assists. Why? Because we got the multi-million-dollar sportsbook data pulled in here thanks to our friends over at Daily Grind. Same thing, guys. We got a 3.58% edge, right? We can kind of get straight to the point now that I broke down that first one in detail. We have a 3.58% chance higher to win. We would prefer that to be a 100% chance to win, obviously. If it was a 100% chance, Prizepicks wouldn't be in business. We wouldn't have the opportunity to make money on their app. They would just be giving away money. They got to stay in business. So sorry, guys. You know, I wish it was a 100% on all the props, but if you're going to choose to participate in this activity, and you want to know the cold, hard truth of how to actually profit and your odds of winning, this is the channel. I will keep saying that. You have a 3.58% higher chance to win. There are so many, you know, there's so much content out there. There's so many people saying, I got the locks, I got the locks. Like, I have very highly profitable plays on this channel, very highly profitable plays in my Discord, and I'm showing them to you, and we have a 3.58% chance higher to win than lose. So that's the reality, and we're doing that over and over, and you can track the results. I come on, I break down the process in the channel, track the results for yourself, see how they go. Does this guy know what the heck he's talking about? You're going to be tracking the results if you're tailing anyways. But -130 on DraftKings, -130 on Caesars, all of these different sports books, right? A much higher price. Once again, they're doing the math. We should be having to pay -132. We're getting a steal. We're not paying -132. We're paying -122, getting 10 cents off. 10 cents off sale. Woohoo! On the Skylar Diggins Smith assist. phenomenal prop. And then once again, guys, if we want to look at more data, just pull up the OddsJam Sportsbook screen. We can be looking at all of it. We can be looking at the OddsJam Sportsbook screen, and we can be looking at Outlier. We can be looking at all of these different tools and finding, are we getting a good deal? Are we getting a good deal is what we care about. Are we getting a good deal? Skylar Diggins-Smith, average odds across the market. She's listed up at 5.7 with minus 119.7 on the over. Same concept, right? We're getting a good deal. She's listed an entire 0.2 higher, and she's still favored on the over. We're getting 5.5, minus 130 DraftKings, minus 130 Caesars. We also do see, earlier in the day, I had pulled this up. She's listed at 6.5 in multiple markets on BetSafe, on Betson. Now, she is favored on the under, minus 139 on the under here, so you'd have to risk $139 or $100 to take the under at the 6.5, but it's an entire assist higher. So when this happens, when she's listed at 6.5 favored on the under, and she's listed at 5.5 favored on the over, if my life was on the line and I had to pick how many assists she ends with tonight, you got to get it right, exactly on point to stay alive. I'm saying she ends with 6 assists. She's favored on the over 5.5. She's favored on the under 6.5. She's going to end with 6 assists. So if you get the 6.5 number, I'd take the under if you're getting a good price. If you're on the 5.5, I'd take the over if you're getting a good price. This is the concept I'm talking about. We're getting minus 122 on the over 5.5. So we are getting a good price compared to these other places. Underdog Fantasy has her listed at minus 148 on the over. They're not listing her as a standard prop. They've altered the payout. That's another DFS fantasy prop app with some valuable data we can be looking at. And you can see they even list the best possible place you can get this is on Prizepicks in a 5 or 6 pick flex at minus 119 at the 5.5 number. We are getting minus 122, but it's, it's very similar. And then once again, you'll want to talk about statistics. You're someone that's like, what kind of research are you doing from a statistic aspect? I'll just reiterate. There's a good chance I haven't even looked at the outlier tool here yet on this prop, but I can guarantee you it's probably going to be, a good matchup for assists. Most of the time, she's favored on the over. Right here, you can go to the over 5.5 assists on Prizepicks. You can see overall the Indiana defense, the guard position, they're giving up 12.1 assists per game to guards. It's actually not the greatest matchup from compared to other teams in the league, but they're still giving up 12.1 assists per game. Her line set at 5.5. Once again, they're factoring in the matchup. They're factoring in the pace of the game. They're factoring in the total. They're factoring in the number that she's set at. And we do have these insights as well. Skylar Diggins has exceeded 5.5 assists, 6 of her 7 last games on the road. She's averaging 8 assists per game on average on the road with an 86% hit rate on the over 5.5 number on the road. So home road splits, all of this stuff is factored into these odds. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but they know the amount of minutes they're playing. They know the home road splits. They know the matchup. They know, how important the game is in the playoffs. Players are going to play more minutes than they would in the regular season, maybe if it's a blowout. They're going to try to come back. So when I talk about price, when I get straight to the point and all this stuff, people that are learning get worked up. They go, what kind of actual research are you doing? I can tell you right now, this is the most valuable research you can do. This is the most valuable data you can be looking at. The only way you're going to make money long-term on these apps is if you're getting a good price. We need the same, I keep saying this, we need the same thing to happen. We need her to go over for 5.5 assists. The only difference is if she lets us down, we're losing far less money by not getting ripped off when we lose than if we're getting ripped off. And that's what keeps you in the game long-term. If you're paying minus 155 on this prop, on Underdog, for instance, and she goes out there and doesn't get the job done, compared to the minus 122, the minus 119 we're getting, that's cutting into your losses way more before you go ahead and place your next one. It's a big deal. You cannot get ripped off on price if you want to win. So you've come to the right place once again to learn this stuff, to know the game, to know how to really profit. We're going to go to the play number 3, back to the MLB streets. Play number 3 will be at 8:05 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be talking about Yusei Kikuchi, and we will be talking about his pitching outs prop. I'm hoping that this prop lasts enough for you guys to place it in. Prizepicks can be a little bit mean on these pitching out props with the timing that they allow it to last, but we'll head back over to OddsJam for this one. We got the OddsJam positive EV tool pulled in here. Once again, guys, you see the results on the screen. You see the software I'm using. If you do want to use it yourself, they'll give you a deal down below. I get a commission when you click on my links down below. So if I offered you the value of showing you these tools, how they work, and you're like, that's cool, that makes sense, the plays are winning, I want to try that out. If you click my link, it's a great way to show support. I do appreciate that. We have a 54.9% chance to win on this. The same concept, right? OddsJam's bringing in this data, all the multi-million-dollar sportsbook data. They're saying we have a 54.9% chance to hit on the under 17.5 outs. For Kikuchi, we have a 4.9% chance higher of winning than losing. That's what we want. All the way up to minus 145 on DraftKings, at minus 130 on FanDuel. The average odds with all of this multi-million-dollar sportsbook data pulled in here, you can see all these different data points, is minus 133 on the under. Once again, we're getting a steal. We're getting minus 122. We're getting a better price. That's what we need long-term to profit. That's what we want. Yes, please. The Yusuf Kikuchi under 17.5 pitching outs is a phenomenal prop. So once again, if you're looking at this tool, you're like, that makes sense. They bring in the average odds. I like this. They give me my percentage to hit. This is the tool. And then once again, it is expensive. I'm not going to act like it's not expensive. All these tools are expensive. That's why I've gone ahead and wrapped them into a package. I got to pay for all of these different things on the back end to keep this business running. So the best possible way, honestly, that you can support me from a monetary aspect is to go ahead and sign up for one of these packages. You get the optimal plays every day. You get the profitable plays. The free ways you can support me, hit the like button, leave a comment down below, subscribe to the channel. Those are completely free. Just leave a comment saying thanks for the help. You helped me win money. All of that positive feedback is greatly appreciated. And any questions you have, if you have any questions, if you're someone that's really trying to learn and say, like, I don't really understand why you're looking at this data, can you explain it to me? I got no issues with helping you out. It's the people that are like, you're an idiot. Am I an idiot? I just went through the entire math. I broke down all of the process, explained it perfectly to you. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. I don't really know. You get on your own YouTube channel and make your own videos and break it down yourself and help the people. Okay? If you're going to call me an idiot, do it yourself. Make your own channel. Grow a bigger audience than me. So we got the $50 instantly when you play your first $5 with the promo code KJKDFS. So do not forget to take advantage of that. And we got this 3-pick entry. Bradish over 4.5 strikeouts, the under 17.5 pitching outs for Kikuchi, and the over 5.5 assists for Skylar Diggins. If you enjoyed the content, guys, it would be greatly appreciated if you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell before you head out the door. These props are all still available on the Prizepicks board at the time of recording, so take advantage. Once again, we got one Wnba prop, we got 2 MLB props, all profitable plays. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Wishing you all the very best of luck on your Prizepicks props tonight, and we will see you in the next one.